Well, who wants to start it off? Okay, you go, Food.
So, Sean Payton Manning, Sean Payton Manning, Sean Payton Manning, Sean Payton Manning. Okay, so I keep digging into it because this is now my favorite thing of all time here. Okay, there have been reports out there about the whole Sean Payton Manning. I'm just gonna call it like that. When I'm talking about Peyton Manning or Sean Payton, I'm just gonna say Sean Payton Manning when it comes to this thing. There's been a lot of different talks about the whole Sean Payton Manning, where he goes and this, that, and everything else. It does look like, and I said this to Alex at work, and he was kind of like, okay, okay. Sean Payton Manning may actually go to a situation where there is already a quarterback, but that right there could be the front. Because if he gets into a coaching position like that, like we're seeing with most of these other trades that have happened out there, Sean Payton has made trades when he had the New Orleans Saints to better the roster for the now. He doesn't do a full up, like pull away from everything. He does a retooling, but he is also understanding of what he needs to do in games. Bounty Gate. We all know that. Sorry to bring it up. But he and the Bucs, we all have done this. We all know that he is also taking players out of games to make sure he's insured himself a couple of better draft picks that go past, say, divisional rivals and stuff like that. So when looking at all the different places that Sean Payton wants to go, you look at the LA Chargers, obviously. You look at the Arizona Cardinals. The Arizona Cardinals is the one that makes the most sense to me. There is the most money. It is a warm environment. And not only that, Arizona was surprisingly one of the colleges that Arch Manning had in the final round of colleges. Wow. It was Arizona State. And it is one of those that went under the radar because it was something that he wanted and not necessarily what was good for him. It was in conversations. This was popped up on Twitter. Every time the whole Sean Payton Manning came up on Twitter and these whole little Colin Cowherd segments and stuff like that, you can just see the talk of where he went and where Sean Payton Manning wants to go to coach. And it all starts leading to what she was kind of saying, that if there is going to be some type of ownership of Arch Manning or someone guiding him into the NFL, the Mannings obviously are overcrowding or are overshadowing it and stuff like that by making sure he goes to the right places, by guiding certain decisions like Sean Payton and Peyton Manning also being on the Monday Night Football cast where they can just have these conversations without tampering. These are all things that happen
behind the scenes.
all the time, behind the scenes.
Absolutely.
All of a sudden, we're off live and be like, "Hey, so, Sean, there, have you talked to Arch a little bit since he's been playing at Newman High?" He's like, I went down there, watched him a couple of times, and he's looking pretty good. He's like, I told you, man, you're gonna be the head coach of my nephew. You're gonna win. I tell you what, Sean. So what I've discovered is literally like we're going to clip that little segment of hers from like a week or two ago, where I'm just sitting here and I just go like. And because now, like I've gone down this rabbit hole. This is what NSD does, and I'm so far into this where I'm like, you can almost guarantee that Sean Payton and Peyton Manning are all going to have a helping hand in Arch Manning getting into the NFL, either ownership or head coaching. They're going to have the helping hand in.
I love it. Wow. So, with that, though, Nicole's, why don't you feed off that? What did you discover this week?
Well, I learned and I discovered some history that it wasn't all hugs and dandelions and giving flowers to one another. No, there was the great merger, my friends, the merger of 1966. So I didn't know this at all, but the merger was announced on the evening of June 8th, 1966. Under the merger agreement, the leagues maintain separate regular season schedules for the next 4 seasons. But in the 1970 season, they formed 2 conferences. So at first, the NFL ignored the AFL and its 8 teams, assuming the AFL would consist of players who could just not earn a contract in the NFL. And the fans of professional football would not waste their time watching them when they could be watching the NFL. The NFL also had the media advantage. So, thwarted by the NFL and desiring a team, Mr. Sir Lamar Hunt, owner of the Dallas Texans, later the Kansas City Chiefs, that really brought the AFL to fruition and helped create a league that was competitive with a long-established NFL. And that, sir friends, was the great merger.
Ooh, I like that. I
I did not know.
Yes.
Well, the more you know. The more you know.
You know.
I love it. That's great. I actually didn't know that.
You don't know, now you know.
Now you know.
Yeah, if we took AFL stats. Oh, I was gonna say if we took AFL stats into consideration, the Detroit Lions would be the best team in the NFL. Just saying.
Oh, easily.
Yeah. Completely.
Go ahead, go ahead, Sean.
So I'm just gonna let's just keep on that line. You talked about one Lamar Hunt, who was the owner of the soon Chiefs. The Chiefs ended up winning Super Bowl 4, which is the last game prior to the official merger happening. Lamar Hunt is actually the one who coined the phrase Super Bowl. And basically he was on the committee of people. They were like, well, okay, well, if we're going to have this, merger, we want to have, before that, since it was the AFL, the NFL, they said, we want to have a game that is the champion of the AFL and the champion of the NFL, and they're playing together for that, for the superiority of both leagues or whatever. And he was saying, well, what is it going to be? It's a Super Bowl, like a Super Bowl. And at that time, they had an actual toy for kids that was called a Super Ball. And so I guess his son had it, and his son was playing with it. And he just it was just a play off that. He was like, the Super Bowl. And that's just what it was. So Lamar Hunt, who was actually, his team was also in Super Bowl 1. They lost 35-10 to the Packers. He was in 2 of the first 4 Super Bowls. He was part of the committee that came up with the name of the Super Bowl. And the more you know.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, that was a good feed. Mine is not as exciting. With the passing of the World Cup, I'm not sure if many people know, but Morocco actually made history this World Cup.
Ooh.
They were the first African team to ever go to the semifinals. So I think there's something to be said about that. That's huge. Soccer being the biggest sport by far in Africa, and for them to finally have that as an accomplishment, I think that speaks volumes for sure. We've seen teams come close like Cameroon and Ghana, and what else? I think Nigeria also in certain points.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Morocco actually they're going to stand out in history to being the first team to ever go to the semifinals. And until a team goes to the finals, they are going to have that title. So that is my discovery of the week. I think that is awesome. And kudos to them. Kudos to them.
Did you see the amount of people partying in Buenos Aires?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness gracious, man! I was like, oh my god, the drone shot. So happy that there's some of these photographers out there that do the drone drops and all that kind of stuff. So happy that they exist, because that one shot where they kind of were on the bus stand or whatever, and it kind of goes around and comes back, and it just shows like 2 million people before everybody showed up. I'm like, that's insane.
It's unreal, man. By far the biggest sport in the world. Like, that tournament is the biggest. Like, there's nothing even close. Like,
they showed the Super Bowl comparatively to the FIFA World Cup, like the last game, and I was even surprised. I'm like, okay. Every 4 years, this makes sense. Okay, we should almost do the Super Bowl every 4 years.
No kidding. Relax though.
But like every country,
we'll call it the Amazing Bowl and have it every
Spoilers.
Thanks for watching. If you like that clip, be sure to check out the other great content from the Let's Talk Football community. And as always, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when more great content like this becomes available.